All right, Historic Preservation Commission meeting, October 15th, 2025. Call to order. Clay Burkett here. Buddy Camargo.
Here.
George Weiss.
Here.
Chris Sutton.
Here.
Lou Ann Holman.
Here.
Allison Daglow.
Here.
And Attorney Kim Schaup is not here. And we confirm that we do have quorum. And next is approval of minutes from last time, from September 3rd.
That was from the emergency meeting that we scheduled on September 3rd.
I did read them and I did not see anything.
I didn't either.
Does anybody need time to read them or?
I already looked through them earlier. I didn't see anything.
I didn't either.
Nope.
A lot of typos, but.
Spelling errors.
You guys, they always spell my name wrong. And I think
Do I
that's,
do the L sometimes?
Yeah.
I have to purposely.
Do you
not
know
do
for
that.
years? That's what I thought her name was.
I know, everybody does. But I'm sorry.
I thought it
But
was.
I know that I do know that I do that. and I
I always thought there was an L in it.
From now on, I'm gonna keep rejecting them just for that.
We reject the minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented for the meeting we held September 3rd.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a second, and all approved for, all in favor of approving the minutes. All opposed? All right, minutes approved. Next, new business. For resources.
I will go over my staff report and then we will have Heather come up for any questions. Applicant is Pro Resources Staffing. Project description, and I'm gonna pull this up too, just because I feel like the images are black and white on your paper, but I have them in color up here, so.
They were in color on that you sent to me.
They were.
I was gonna say, I thought I saw them in
I
color.
put them in black and white, and to try to save
Yeah.
paper, I didn't wanna reprint them.
And once you walk through that, you don't even need pictures.
Yeah.
Once you walk by there, you notice that for a while. Our church is right next door, so we see it all every weekend.
We always take bets on it too.
Yeah, like how many more are gonna be there
I
next
know,
week?
I know.
Oh, the shingles.
Yeah, they're bad.
So this.
I'm waiting for mine so far, but mine are gonna start
They're
falling
staying
soon.
there now.
Yeah, they're there for now.
So this project's proposal is replacing the cedar shake and shingles, that's a tongue twister. Replace the rotten decking and upgrade the flat roof area with a new membrane to prevent leaking and damage. Cedar shakes and flat roof have visible damage. Shingles will be black and brown in color in an attempt to recreate the look and the cedar shake that is up there currently. This complete remodel will include taking down the rotten wood / cedar shake, putting up shingles to replace the shake, replacing rotten decking, upgrade flat roof with new membrane to prevent water damage and moisture. Shingles will be black and brown in color and similar to the color scheme of the current look. The guidelines I found, page 23, roofs, gutters and downspouts, states original slate, tile, metal, or asbestos roofs may be replaced if more than 50% of the original material is deteriorated and beyond repair. The commission may consider alternative materials that replicate the look of the original as long as those materials have satisfactory performance. Page 118, roofs states, roofs are perhaps one of the most important parts of a historic building. A building with a failed roof will soon be lost. A building, even deteriorated with a good roof, can stand for years while reuse and renovation plans are put in place. The key is to keep water from entering the building. Once the top is sound, it ensures that water is directed by gutters and downspouts away from the foundation. Roof form, material, and details are important features that contribute to the look and design of the structure. Features of the roof include the shape, pitch, eave details, and the covering used on the deck. And I'll just point out some photos here. I think it's pretty evident that the building for a long time has had a lot of damage. This is a rendering of what that will potentially look like after it's being replaced. And then this is a close-up of some of the rotten cedar shakes. I did get a photo, sorry Heather, but I did get a photo of the inside that does show the water damage, which is over some of their electric equipment. So I know that there's probably some concern with that if that continues to happen. My staff evaluation, the proposed roof replacement project is consistent with the guidelines, which allow for the replacement of original slate, tile, metal, and asbestos. It didn't really specifically say anything about the cedar shake and anything I was reading about the material. It is more than 50% deteriorated beyond repair, as page 23 states. The applicant has provided sufficient evidence that the existing roof meets the 50% condition. Additionally, the selected replacement material replicates the appearance of the original look, and they're not changing the shape of this at all. So this kind of knockout of the building is not changing. It is just the cedar shake that is being taken down. This does align with the guidelines, requirements, and alternative materials. As stated on page 118, maintaining a sound roof is essential to the preservation of any building in our historic commercial district of Angola, as it prevents water intrusion and preserves the building's integrity over time. The color that has been selected is within the color palette guidelines. The proposed work supports these preservation goals while respecting the historic character of the structure, and therefore staff recommends approval. Applicant is applying for the facade grant to use in 2025. Applicant is requesting $10,000 to use from grant funds. Estimated total project cost, $37,810.
What's the material?
So I will introduce you to Heather, and we'll have her come up at this time, and then she actually has a sample of the material as well.
Nice.
Very cool. And Heather, if you just want to introduce yourself and state your name, and then whatever questions we have, we'll just direct those towards you.
Heather Esch, Regional Manager for the Angola office here in Pro Resources.
And then the material you have, if you'd like to pass it around, we can look at it.
What company are you going with?
JLS Roofing. I was sharing with Allison, we had several quotes. They came in the most competitive of all of them.
I gotta do new roof next year.
I can pass through the contact info if you'd like.
I was just curious, because I gotta do a new roof next year on my building, so.
Yeah, I just had a flat roof
And I have
problem.
the wood shingles
Oh my
as
gosh.
well on the side of my building too, and I gotta get rid of those.
There you go.
I like them, but they don't stay.
Yeah.
And I did talk with Heather a little bit about why they had chosen that material, and it really was the longevity. That the cedar is great, but it does collect a lot of moisture, and it just doesn't last quite as long as this other material.
I thought she would have gone with the heather blend.
I know, it was a toss-up, right?
That was the reason why I was asking for the material. That's our only concern.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that the material you're using will last long.
Absolutely.
And
Definitely lasts longer than
yeah,
those.
I mean, we could even say no if you went
Yeah.
with the cedar, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably the best you can do anyways, just to keep the same shape that it has.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And that's what a lot of the contractors said, because we looked at the
Metal too, but it takes away a little bit of that characteristic where the shingle could duplicate that.
yeah, I think it would probably. look better.
And
Yeah.
I think I appreciate that, because to be honest, metal would probably be more efficient for you guys to do it. So going that extra step, it says a lot. Thanks for trying to preserve that look.
absolutely.
That's awesome.
Do we know at all approximately how old the building is? Anybody?
So
Because you have unknown.
Maybe Heather knows, because I tried to find that all over, and it just said 1800s is what it told me online. But
Is it that old? See, I was thinking.
I don't know for sure.
I don't know why I had the 19 teens in my head, but I could be wrong.
And you usually know.
I
Yeah,
know,
you
I'm
do.
sorry, I don't.
Yeah, because you're like our, what are you good for?
I don't know, I'm not good for anything
I even
anymore.
actually tried to pull back even on Beacon for like any tax reporting that had been done, and there was no specific date, it just kind of listed that date.
I'd have to search the property. We might have done, we might have the files in my building. We might have done
Interesting.
work on it, so.
I'm sorry, I failed you all.
Well, that just means that's another building
Why
you
do we
gotta
have
search.
you here if you don't know the date of every building in town?
My name is here, that's why I'm here.
There'll be a test next time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we've got flashcards.
Oh my goodness.
And in regards to the roof, the advantage, just for your information and in regards to our commission is, that the roof, the advantage that you have is that it doesn't show, right? It's all interior, so for us, as long as it doesn't hurt any of the exterior visual aspects, then you're safe. So this is playing in your favor that it's all flat and it's underlined. So just like she read on the guidelines, those are kind of some pointers in the future. As long as you keep with that, which to me it's not efficient, right? It's not an efficient way to have a roof, but unfortunately that prevents you from having to go extra miles with us. Any more comments or questions?
Are they gonna pitch the roof at all or just leave it as flat as?
They're gonna leave it flat.
They're gonna leave it flat.
Yeah, there's a couple like vents that aren't used any longer that they'll make sure those are sealed up nicely and remove if needed be.
They should be able to approach it from just sealing it.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't put a roof on it, but I.
Yeah.
Are you gonna try to do this before winter?
Yes, that is our goal.
As soon as possible? Yes.
So that you don't have snow coming in.
Sitting at your desk.
I know.
As the snow, as like it's snowing inside. Yeah.
The ladies there might not appreciate that.
Any other questions for Heather? Are you ready to make a motion?
I'm taking
George.
I'm taking silence as we're done with
Yeah.
questions.
All right, ready to make a motion?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll make it. I make a motion that we accept application 100920025. And this project requires the replacements of the shingles and the replacement of the roof. And I make a motion, we accept this application and approve it.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving as presented? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right,
You guys don't have to stay,
motion passed.
but don't forget your,
Don't forget your shingles.
You'll miss out if you leave, man. This is like the best.
That's the resources girl.
Just come every month.
Bring a few others with us next time.
Thank you and good luck. Yep.
All right, next on new business, Indiana Humanities.
yes, so I just wanted to report to you that I have submitted the grant to Indiana Humanities I had brought up to you before, and that was for the QR codes on some of the historical buildings, and also doing a walking tour downtown to kind of showcase that, so we would have an event with a walking tour. That was a partner project with Angola Main Street. And I should hear back by the end of October if we're chosen for that, so that was a matching grant.
How much was that?
That was, I asked for 2,000 from Indiana Humanities, 1,000 would come from the city and 1,000 would be from Main Street.
Great.
So we would have 4 total for that project. If we are chosen, we'll kind of need to now let you know, some of the breakdown for that, but that is kind of the idea with the project. The QR codes, I think, has been something that have been talked about for a long time. And then I also wrote into that grant marketing materials for that, so we can update our historic preservation. We have a pamphlet, but
Like
it's
that
kind of out of
walking
date.
tour pamphlet. The one that like the, it's kind of a walking
We
tour.
have several, actually.
Do we?
We would
Yes,
have
we
that,
do,
but
several.
Your historic, you have a generalized brochure for
Oh, yeah,
HPC,
yeah.
and that is out of date as well, so several of those things I think just kind of need a little refresh, so
Yeah.
some of that can be a part of that. I also wrote in someone to go around to verbally tell the story, so we can also put that online, so anyone with any hearing or seeing difficulties could also be able to view that, so. So we would have a moderator, so that can be something that people could listen to also when they were going around, so.
Yeah, not volunteering anybody.
You're not volunteering.
It was actually my.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could have anybody do it.
You just
And
happen to have one who lives in your town.
I mean, as far as storytellers go.
And history info. There you go. Check 2 boxes.
Who's free?
Check 3 boxes.
Check another one. We've been wanting to do this for so
Yes.
long. Oh, I can't even, how long did we talk about it? For years.
We have been talking for a
Original,
while.
when I was on the commission, originally, I think we discussed it even.
Oh my goodness, this
That's
is
good.
Well, it might happen.
Thanks,
Yeah.
nice.
I mean,
Nice.
forever.
So again, I should know by the end of October, I'll definitely know by our next meeting, so I'll kind of keep you posted on that.
All right.
And that was all I had for the Indiana Humanities
Okay,
portion.
next communications.
Yes.
Can we decide one way to be told about meetings?
We just went one way,
email.
right? So you don't have
Well, it'd just be easier on you.
I do usually email everybody, which we do the packets. You can also get those on the website as well, so I don't mind doing that, but I didn't know, I mean, do you want a text that just says, hey, this is our meeting, I've emailed you, the packets? Cause right now what I'm doing is I'm emailing and then I'm texting and then I call too, and it's starting to be a little bit too much.
I propose that we stick to the original where it was email.
I'm fine with email.
Because you have
I
to send things.
always, 100% always get my texts
Okay.
every day. I'm not great about checking my email every day, but I will get,
Okay.
I'll get
How
better.
about I do
I
an
promise.
email?
We'll
But you
do
get it
email.
eventually.
We'll do email and that's fine. I just need to be better about checking it myself. Just because I
will
don't
also
get.
do a text, I don't mind doing that, but what I'll do is I'll send out the email, text the group and just say, I have emailed the packets, please let me know if you can attend the meeting on whatever date.
Well, that's
You have
that's
our
fine.
numbers, you can just put it in a group chat.
I never look at my mail.
Just
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I know, and then every time I go to get a sandwich, Chris is like, is everything okay? I'm like, I just hungry.
Her in the group text too.
I'm just hungry.
I need all the reminders.
I don't even,
You're in the group text.
No, I'm horrible about checking my email.
Well, I have
I've
Main
kind of
Street
switched over.
emails, major council emails.
My original email that I got back
And
in
it's
the
like,
90s is just cold.
Wait, what about?
So I've switched. I'm slowly switching over because my Yahoo mail.
Why don't you
Allison in the room speaker.
Oh,
Oh, look, there's Allison over
Like
there on the
city
flag.
speaker.
I just,
Announce it.
oh, Target sale. Here's your new
Announce it
this
at
ad.
noon.
Here's yeah.
Okay, so,
HPC, your email has been sent, yeah.
So we're going with email.
I'll
right.
do an email to everybody with a follow-up text.
Sounds great.
good. Okay.
All right, events.
So, I'll talk a little bit about it, and then if Luann's got a couple things, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So, we do have the cemetery tour that's already coming up next weekend. I did just check the tickets, and we are sold out on a few times already.
Nice.
Saturday seems to be the most popular date. Myself and Kathy Eldridge will be on the radio on Friday, so if you guys would like to tune in at 8:45 in the morning.
8:45 on Friday.
8:45 on Friday, we'll be on there talking about the cemetery tour. Tickets are on sale until Wednesday, not, so that would be not today, but next Wednesday, which, let me get that date. That would be the 22nd, so you could buy tickets up until the 22nd.
What's the radio station?
100.3.
100.3.
So that event is Friday, October 24th and 25th. I do have George and Claudia helping on Friday. And I put Chris and Clay on Saturday. Does that So when I say.
I'm good with either one.
And when I say help, I would have you at registration, so you would be at the registration table, when people come up to show their tickets, you'll mark their hand that yes, they paid. And we can kind of talk about that a little bit more too, exactly what you would do, but we'll just kind of lead them along the way, so you don't have to be an actor, you don't have to.
Yeah, do you? Cause I'm gonna be gone that weekend.
Oh, you are gonna be gone, yes, I did have you. Okay, so.
Sorry, it's my anniversary. You get to be an actor in the next one. No, I'm terrible at that.
So George and Claudia, you're okay with?
I'll be there.
I was gonna say, can I switch with somebody on Saturday? Friday, we have our Steuben Pride Halloween party.
So Clay and Claudia would do Saturday?
I don't care, it's fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna take you off, Chris,
Where's the
so
Halloween party?
Claudia and Clay will be Saturday, and George, I'm gonna get somebody, that will help you at registration.
I'm gonna be there both days, and I'm not one of the actors, remember, cause we didn't need me.
Yeah, but I would like, and just, so the idea with Luann and Kathy is if for some reason an actor's sick or is not able to come, then they're going to take that role.
Yeah.
So they're kind of our backup both days. So I was trying to leave you open to potentially
Yeah,
be able to.
because you never know what's gonna happen at the last minute.
I did get a hold of FIST, which is a student organization here in Angola, and several of them have volunteered to be the docents, which those are the people that are kind of leading them to the different locations. And I believe I have enough that I can ask one of them to work at registration.
Did you ask them to dress up or anything?
I asked them to dress up,
Well, and
or
if we
if they
need
didn't have a
anybody
costume,
else-
to wear all black.
If we need anybody, if you've got me on Saturday and you need anybody else on Saturday, my wife can do it too.
I've got you and Claudia, so I think we
Oh, okay.
should be okay,
Okay.
but
Oh, yeah,
if
you
your
can.
wife would like to come, they're more than welcome.
Oh, she'll probably come, but.
Oh, good.
She'll help
And then
if
I'll
you
get
need
another volunteer for you on Friday, George. So that event, just for, so you guys know, October 24th, that's 5 to 7 for the public. And on the 25th, that's 6 to 8 p.m.
And we're meeting where?
You will be at Commons Hall, which is over on John Street, so you'll park at the Commons Hall Pavilion. Do you know where Commons Park is, the playground? Commons Park?
I thought we were bidding against Selman's, where did I get that idea?
We have Commons.
Selman would be a little bit of a walk.
Oh, wait.
That building's open, and I can send everybody the address, but
Yes,
that's.
so we'll have tables there for the, everything,
Yes,
registration
yep.
and.
So registration's
lights
gonna
and-
be inside that building, and you'll have access to electricity, restrooms, whatever you guys need in there, so that's where registration will be. Once they register, groups are gonna go out every 30 minutes. So you'll park at, again, it's called Commons Hall on John Street, and it's right past where you would go if you're gonna go to the wooden park at Commons. It's the little drive right past that.
Oh, there's like a
Going
little
around the curve.
parking area there and
That's
then
the
they,
building, yeah, that's Commons Hall. And I can send out the address, but,
No, that's fine.
if everybody who is helping that day could be there 30 minutes prior to the event.
Okay.
So on the 24th, if you're working on Friday, if you could be there at 4:30. And on the 25th, if you're working on Saturday, I would need you there at 5:30. We had pumpkins donated, so the kids at Cahoots are decorating pumpkins to put along the trail. I have asked anyone that has any extra lanterns, shepherd's hooks, any kind of spooky decor to have that turned into me by October 22nd. I will make sure those items get returned to you. We'll put your name on the bottom, and get those back to you.
I'll walk around with my
Did you
ghost hunting
have,
stuff.
who had all the lanterns? Were you talking about it? Do you still have them?
Yeah, I've gotta dig them out there underneath.
Oh, okay, cause we were
front
talking about
windows.
your lantern, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can come and help you dig those out if you're not afraid to have me do that.
Maybe I'll have them and look them out.
Okay, but I can come get them or whatever anybody needs to do. So lanterns, shepherd's hooks, spooky decor kind of things, let me know if you have those. I can either come and get them, I'm happy to do that. Or you could drop them off to me by October 22nd. And again, I'll kind of tape your name on it, we'll get those returned after the event. Do you have any updates on the actors, or everybody seems
Kind of,
excited?
but not
or-
really,
okay.
no. I mean, but the actors are, except for one that I talked to you about. They're, like, one of them, I called her yesterday and she's going, hello, I go, where are you? you? She goes, I'm in the cemetery. I go, what are you doing? Rehearsing. I go, oh, excuse me. Can I talk to you for a minute? Why are we whispering, right? Nobody's listening, really.
You never know.
You never know.
I said, you're rehearsing? I like to
They're
rehearse
laying
in the
down there like,
cemetery.
"Shut
She's so excited about her parts. She's got her, I mean, they're all, so I love that. So the actors are
Yeah, I
really,
know,
really
right?
excited. I told them all to be there an hour early to be at their, I don't know, that's probably too early, but
And you're gonna do a rehearsal next week?
we're doing rehearsal Tuesday night at 6.
I'm gonna go, and
Yeah.
so's Kathy, so.
Do you wanna remind Kathy Friday?
did, yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
I mean, I'm
Just
sure
wanted
she
to know.
remembers, but I told them, it was in their packet, and I'm gonna send a note to all
Where
of
do
them.
you
To
advertise
remind
that
them
at?
to, you know, at least the rehearsals, once they know where they stand and where they'll be and
Oh, do you?
that
And
kind
I
of
was
thing.
gonna tell you, I have a lot of
I just
costume
wondered- I
makeup
just
that I
wasn't
can
sure,
bring that
like-
on Saturday, and if anyone needs to touch up their.
Oh, that's a good
face
idea,
paint, I'll
yeah.
bring some there, so.
I was gonna say though, because the late night one on Friday, well, Saturday at 7:30, or it shows us for next year, make these later, make them in the dark.
Oh, yeah, I
Because,
think people
I mean, I
are,
think
they're buying more of those later ones.
Just by looking at the data, that what ticket sales we have, people do wanna come. It would have them both equal next year, I think it'll be easier, like, what time is Friday, what time is Saturday? And, you know, maybe just make it, you know, 6 to 8, 7 to 9,
So we picked an earlier time Friday, cause we thought that some people may not be able to walk
Right,
at night, so
right.
we tried to
So
do
see-
some earlier hours for people with some of those, maybe some walking, issues. But Saturday evening does seem to be the most popular time.
Because it'll be dark.
Do we know how many tickets are sold so far?
Great cards, 20% off at Cork and Barrel, if you attend, you get one of these at registration, 20% off.
Friday, the date is not doing as well as Saturday, so if anyone,
Is it good?
you know, has friends or family that wanna come, you know, there are still tickets available, but push Friday.
And I've told people they can buy tickets at the door if they're available.
And the Herald Republican reached out and they are gonna do an article in the paper, so that we will have something out in the paper, so, it does seem like it's getting some momentum and.
Oh, people are talking about it like crazy. Even, they really are, it's gonna be fun.
I think it will too. I know Kelly's looking, so Main Street hosted the ticket sales, so she can, if she's able to, give us an update on how many we have left. Anything else with the
And
cemetery?
one thing about a rain date, we don't have a rain date, so if the weather's bad, you will make the call,
Yes.
whether it goes or not.
We will
I mean,
still do it, man. Let's do it. Let's get muddy.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
I mean,
if
season's
it's-
here.
If it's a little sprinkly, I would say we're probably not gonna cancel. If it is thundering and seems dangerous, we will cancel. but
Yeah.
The only
That'll be
thing with,
spooky,
the only
Allison,
thing with the
come on.
rain though, is it is a little hilly and the grass is gonna get slick. That's the only, like, if it's just a little rainy, I don't think it'll be bad, but if it's like big rain, I would be worried
Big rain,
about
yeah,
people
but
slipping.
you make that call. Oh, well, that's a good point though, are we insured for everyone, if someone were to fall in the grass that's slippery, are we insured through the city?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, that's always something to think about.
Yeah. And I did thank Pleasant Township also for letting us use the cemetery, so. So, yeah, we'll kind of make that call and keep an eye out on the weather. If, like, again, if it looks like it's just gonna be a little misty or foggy, and I think you're right, that might be kind of neat.
Oh, I hope it's misty and foggy, it'd be way more fun. You're gonna be so sad you're not here.
And that way we can use that coupon afterwards.
There you
Get
go.
in there and get, man, those
Yeah.
drinks good.
Cork and Barrel's doing that, and then Ride Now Acres is also offering, so it's nice to get some other
Oh,
community.
fun.
That's good.
businesses
Oh,
involved with
good.
that, so.
Nice.
That's good.
Also, if anyone has any extra flashlights, that might not be bad, we have a few flashlights
Extra?
that we could borrow.
Oh,
Just in case we have the lanterns, but just in case we need something.
I have the 2 lanterns, like the docents can carry, they're really nice. Do you know where your lanterns are? Are you gonna bring them? Or they just sit around or for people to carry? What,
People can carry them.
the docents would carry your lantern?
They can.
Okay.
I've had several people say they have lanterns, so we should be okay.
42 tickets?
42 tickets sold. And the majority being Saturday.
Yeah.
Nice.
pretty cool.
So that was all I have for the cemetery tour. We'll talk a little bit about that, in November and see if that's something we might wanna continue in 2026, if you guys seem like that's a project that you kinda enjoyed.
It's our first year for it too, so I think, why are you pointing at me?
Well, no, I just had a general comment
Oh.
because I would be there, but it is also my wedding anniversary
Oh.
weekend and the downtown spectacular. So please take pictures and video so that way if you guys want to do it again, we have some sort of promo.
Dean Orweiler's coming to do photos for us,
Oh,
so.
okay, awesome.
From the university, he went to,
Yeah.
but we'll be done there by, 5
Well, I have,
downtown.
yeah,
You'll
I
probably
just
have
have,
cleanup.
Yeah, we'll get some
yeah,
photos.
and I have
The contest is at
anniversary
2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then she's leaving for the weekend too.
She's celebrating that
yeah,
without us.
my anniversary weekend.
Oh, you don't want all of us to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna remind Dean to come to, Saturday night. I think you should come Saturday.
When there's more people,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, we'll get some photos and then
To
we
get
can
some
kind
good
of share that
photos.
online.
yeah.
Any other questions with the haunted cemetery tour? Again, when I started, it was kind of told to me that the Historic Preservation Commission would like to start doing some more programming. I do hear on occasion that people don't know that we have a Historic Preservation Commission, so again, this is kind of as a fun event, yes, but also to educate the community. And on top of that, I made some pamphlets that we're gonna give out. So I think this will be kind of nice because it will tell a little bit just about how we started this
Oh, that's
program, and then
wonderful.
also a little bit about what is the Historic Preservation Commission.
Is that for them that night?
Yes.
That's fabulous, you did that. Oh my
So
God.
we'll hand those out
It's
just as a
cool.
part of our education component. If there's nothing else with the cemetery tour, I just wanted to, again, just kind of reiterate on the voices and votes that will be here March through May of 2026. Just to kind of be thinking about how we might want to tie into that program. So that's several months away. We can kind of talk about that as it gets a little bit closer.
That's at the library?
That's at the library.
Okay, all right.
Even if someone from HPC would like to come a day that we have a tour of a group,
Okay.
maybe that could be the way that we kind of tie into that. So if we have a tour group and somebody wants to come talk about historic preservation or some information about downtown Angola.
Which we just had that person.
Have you invited like local government classes?
I have sent the flyer to the MSD and then I have also sent it to Trine. So we do have some interest with that. If anybody knows any specific contacts of those teachers, I'd be happy to send it out. But I did send it, and I guess a general, to the MSD to send out to all the middle school and high school and.
About the cemetery tour?
No, about the.
Oh,
Voices.
Voices
Oh, I
and
see.
Votes, yeah. And then I did send it to the college, I did get a response from that, so I think we may have some groups from Trine as well, so. If anyone has any ideas on who might be interested in that, I did not start sending it out to Fremont or Prairie Heights, I kind of focused so far in Angola, but I can start to do that as well, or maybe we're advertising it at some other schools too, so. So that was just kind of a general, okay, that's coming up in 2026. Can you guys believe it's October's almost done already?
My birthday's passed, so I really don't care what the rest of I gotta go. It's the last capital campaign meeting, so after this Wednesday, I should be good to
All right, well, thank you.
stay
Claudia.
on. Alrighty, everyone have a good weekend, okay?
Yep.
It's a weekend?
Well, for me.
Well,
Oh, yeah, goodbye.
And then we have just a few more things on the last page. The Historic Preservation Conference, I was able to attend that. That was through Indiana Landmarks. Kelly was able to go as well, and then George went to the conference, and that was at the beginning of September. Yeah.
October.
October, okay, I was gonna say, wait a second, was it that long ago? Okay,
Yeah.
that was the beginning of October. See, everything's kind of a blur. We did receive some great information. I also made some really good contacts with the City of Fort Wayne's Historic Preservation Commission. I got a few beneficial documents I thought that we could potentially look at using for our district. And one of those was kind of sending out a letter to property owners, letting them know you're in the historic preservation area. This is a map of the district. This is what this means. You might be eligible for facade grants. Because again, we kind of hear often from new and old business owners, or just property owners in general, that they didn't know that they had to come to commission to have paint approved.
I didn't know when I bought my building.
Yeah,
I had no
so they send out a letter, like if you bought a building, they would automatically send you a letter.
Nice.
So I thought that was nice, but I think since we haven't done that before, what I would propose is we would, you know, I'll kind of start to compose a letter that we would have. I'll have you guys proof it and see what you think, and just send out an informational letter. And then as new business owners come in, then we can start doing this, you know, where it's generated and, you know, you bought a building and we'll send that out to you. But I don't know that even on a yearly basis, that might not be a bad thing we just send out in our district.
Yeah.
They have a really huge location, so I mean, like, their person is specifically, that's all they do at the city of Fort Wayne. So that was nice to get some of that information. I think we could use some of that here in Angola.
Yeah.
And again, maybe if we get that grant and we're able to revise some of those brochures, those are things that we can also send out to businesses too, so.
Could I ask Kelly a question?
Yes, you can, yeah.
As a realtor now, your other hat.
Yeah.
Would you think that it would be a good idea for realtors to have that when property goes for sale to tell them before they buy it? I mean, we're talking about like, hi, welcome to Angola. Now you're in the historic district and you might not know. I mean, do you guys ever talk about that as a realtor?
So yeah, actually, when we were at the Historic Preservation Conference, I actually got continuing education credits for being a realtor, so there are definitely aspects. I think one thing that would probably make more sense is just send it out to the companies within Angola, because a lot of them don't do historical properties or commercial ones, so I think as long as you hit the few key ones that would, then it would probably go a long way. And we had talked about, like, in that letter, even just telling them, like, hey, you have a Main Street that does this as well and will help you. So that way it's very educational and informal, because we don't want people to feel like how Clay did and it's like, oh my gosh, what did I buy?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, true, right? And I think awareness and education is always right with realtors, you know, people who sell house say, oh, I didn't realize, but when I'm selling property, I'm gonna make sure I bring this up. That, oh, here we go, and a letter too, when they buy it, but just awareness that we do have this,
Yeah.
you know, in our town. I don't know, I think that would be a good thing.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think at that conference you were, or that specific speaker, they talked a little bit about that their HPC does work with realtors for education pieces as well, so that was a good takeaway. I think there's definitely some things we could start doing sooner than later. Their Historic Preservation Commission also usually meets once a year just for, we might have a day that we would have a meeting, we maybe wouldn't have it on here, but we would do a training, or we could go over some of our guidelines, we could work on this kind of stuff and how we're educating the public. I don't think that's a bad idea, and I'm not sure what you feel about that, but I think that could be something that we might wanna just do on a yearly basis where we would meet.
Like a
Honestly,
day
I think
retreat
that's
kind of
actually
thing, or.
in the
Supposed to be doing
requirements.
that, yes.
The requirements are, we're supposed to meet, we're supposed to do train at least
We
one.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I could have, if, you know, if that's something maybe we wanna do in the winter, when we don't maybe have as many facade grants coming, we could try to plan a date to start doing that, like maybe we'll just say, hey, every January, we're gonna do that. And I'll have a guest speaker come, we can have kind of a topic that he presents or she presents, for some training and things, so. It was beneficial to go to, and I felt like I got some good information. Next year I can send you guys that information if you guys are interested in going. That is in, is it
Say that again. Oh yeah, it's in Franklin.
Franklin, Indiana, next year, so.
Did you enjoy it, George?
It was good. It was
It was beneficial. Some of the classes that I took were very, very interesting as far as how we can kind of tweak them and use them for here. A lot of it was geared towards more bigger cities that have larger historic preservation districts. But they did have some great ideas as far as bringing people in to teach. What was the one where they brought the goal was to bring trained people to teach tradespeople how to actually renovate these historic buildings correctly and using the proper materials, like redoing the windows instead of buying windows and all that stuff. So it was basically a program that Purdue is doing, I think, that is going to be reaching out to the smaller communities as far as that goes. But that's something when we do a training, that might be something we offer to the public as far as like train the trainer kind of thing too. So, because we don't really have anywhere around here that does windows, you know, the closest person is in South Bend. So.
So that was all I have for new business.
All right, old business. We approved shiplap. We were able to see samples of it on 101 West Maumee. On 118 West Maumee, we had the emergency meeting so they could prepare the parapets. I think all of you were here, so
It looks really good.
just off on reports. Anybody have any reports?
And they did start that work on Stout Law, and it does look.
Oh yeah,
so-
they've got the big scaffolding up there. My God.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
like,
yes.
no, thank you.
I don't even drive down that street. It's like,
Yeah. So anyone have any reports? Members, attorneys not here, staff?
no.
All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All right, meeting adjourned.
Go.